I'll be covering a lot of cryptid stuff too, like the idea that the Loch Ness Monster may not be actually a physical creature, but maybe something more like a psychic projection. And one of the reasons there is that F.W. Holliday, who investigated the Loch Ness Monster back in the 70s, found that many other people were seeing these type of creatures all over the place in lakes in Ireland and Scotland, but many of these lakes were so small, there wasn't a big enough fish population to even feed one of these creatures, much less a colony. There's a lot of other things that Loch Ness turns out to be a UFO hotspot, and a lot of things to consider there.
Yeah, the high strangeness factor is the factor that I really like a lot in a lot of these things, that the stuff that really just kind of blows your mind. Like you were saying with Loch Ness, I've heard this once, and I've tried to bring it up with people a couple of times, and a lot of the time they haven't heard it, but I'm going to guess that you've heard it. And that is that the sides in the stone in Loch Ness, there's something like quartz that they're saying might possibly be creating a situation through vibrations that's actually opening a time portal, which is why we can't find Nessie, that it's actually passing in and out of whatever prehistoric era the plesiosaur is from, and then coming back in search of food.
It's just that it likely isn't a plesiosaur. Plesiosaurs were air-breathing, and even if they survived into the present day, it may be something else. And Holliday early on thought it was a flesh-and-blood creature, but from the descriptions, he thought it was something more like an oversized mollusk. And his candidate was something called a Telemonstrum gregarium, which has been extinct for about 3 million years and only got to be about 3 feet long. But the idea was that it was something. In fact, he chronicles some incredible sightings of this thing crossing the road. I mean, this thing was on land, and the people that saw it said it didn't have legs. It was slithering more like a giant slug. Yeah. So I got to Loch Ness back in 1973 when I backpacked in Europe, and I had read Holliday's first book called The Great Orm. That's O-R-M, which is just an ancient word for a worm of Loch Ness. And I was looking at the water to see if I could see anything, but I was also kind of looking over my shoulder just in case one of these things decided to cross the road.